Hey guys, we were going to do something a little bit different this week. I know we missed out on last week's Doctrine Dash, but I wanted to go ahead and drop this one this week. And I've been really wrestling over what to talk about this week, because we've been talking about Jesus and we've been talking about salvation and the theology behind that. And we're going to get back to that next week, but I really wanted to talk about some theology that applies to our current events. If you're aware, if you're on social media, or if you're watching the news or anything like that, you are aware of the riots all across our country. You're aware of the protests. You're aware of all those things. I'm sure you're aware of George Floyd's death and the officer being arrested for that. And so I don't know if you're like me, but I've been wondering, what is my role as a believer in this situation? What am I called to do as a believer in this current environment, in this current discussion? And so I really want to point to God in our discussion. I want to, for just a few minutes, I want us to see how who God is should direct how I behave. And this is why theology, this is why studying God is important, because the more we know about Him, the better we're able to act. And so I want us to see that today and every day and forever, God is a God of justice. And so what that means is that God's justice means that God always acts in accordance with what is right and is Himself the final standard of what is right. So our God, our Father, He always acts out of justice. He always does what is right in every situation. And not only does He always do what is right in every situation, but He is the one who determines what is right, because He is who He is. No one is above Him, and so He is the standard that we know justice. And so a good example of this would be that God is always He always acts justly as we see Him in Scripture. So a good example of justice is Cain and Abel. So He creates Adam and Eve. They have two sons, Cain and Abel. And Cain kills Abel. And since God is a God of justice, He punishes Cain. He punishes Cain by sending him out and exiling him to a different land and marking him so that everyone would see that he is the one who killed his brother. And so that is God's justice. He is punishing an evil act. But He also offers grace to Cain by not killing him. And so God is a God of justice. And so we want to follow God by being people of justice. Christians want to be people who are always doing what is right. That in a given situation, what is wrong is called out for being wrong and is punished for being wrong, and what is good is rewarded for being good. And so it's not just about saying, hey, God is just. It's about realizing, hey, because God is just, I am called to be just. Because God does what is right in every situation, I should strive to do what is right in every situation. I don't want my politics to inform me how I should behave in a situation. I want God's justice to inform everything about me, including my politics. And so it's really difficult in the situation we're in right now to know, okay, what should I think? What should I say? What should I do? Based off political parties or what people are saying on social media or all these things. But the question we have to ask is, what is right and what is wrong? Because God is a God of justice, and He will always do what is right in every situation. And He is the one who determines what is right. And you might think, well, why does God do that? Because He's God, because He is the ultimate source of truth and reality. He is truth. And so what He is justice. So the fact that He punishes evil and rewards good, that's an act of justice. We get that from Him. And so obviously there's been an act of injustice. George Floyd should not have been killed. We can all agree on that. He should not have been killed. He should not have been treated the way he was by this police officer. And so we should all want justice for him. We should all want justice, that they receive a just act. And so we can all agree that as Christians we should want justice, and that should not be informed by our politics. That should not be informed by anything on social media. It should be informed by God. And we also have to ask a question as far as what should we do as believers? What should we do to strive for justice in our communities? And I think we should constantly be looking to God as our source of what is true and what is right and what is good, and then go from there. I know it's really tempting to make social media posts. It's really tempting to do things so that people will see. But what we should really be doing is living out justice each and every day in your homes, in your schools, in your communities, and in our state. That we should be calling out what is wrong and upholding justice at every place. And I know that it seems like this is a big thing. It's sweeping across the country that people are demanding justice. Some people are rioting. Some people are looting. Some people are just protesting. And it's really hard in this situation to determine, hey, what exactly is the answer? What exactly is the right thing to do? But I just want you to know today that God is a God of justice, that He always will do the right thing in every situation, and He determines what is right. And so we should know Him more in order to know what to do in these situations. Our verse is Deuteronomy 32:4. It says, "The rock, His work is perfect, for all His ways are justice. A God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and upright is He." I want us to strive to be those people that are just, that we're not just echoing things we've heard from other people, we're not just retweeting things or replying things or posting things, that we inherently strive to be people that are good and just in every single thing we do, no matter what. Because when we do that, we reflect God. So let's not get caught up in politics. Let's not get caught up in all these other things. Let us ask these questions. Am I reflecting God by pursuing justice? No matter what color their skin, no matter what creed, no matter what background, everyone needs to be treated with justice, because God is a God of justice. So I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good week, and I hope you can ponder on this as we try to wade through what's going on in our country.